Failure doesn't break you, it prepares you for success. Have you ever paused for a moment and wondered why some people seem to rise above every challenge, achieving extraordinary success, while others with equal talent and potential remain stuck? Have you ever felt the sting of failure and thought to yourself, maybe I'm just not good enough? Have you ever questioned what real success actually is? Is it luck, opportunity, timing, or something much deeper, something forged in the fires of repeated failure? Today, I want to take you on a journey through the lives of some of the world's greatest minds, inventors, and entrepreneurs, people who failed, often spectacularly, yet refused to give up. They teach us a powerful truth. Failure is not the end. It is the stepping stone to greatness. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and imagine what it must have felt like for Thomas Edison, working late into the night in his small lab, trying experiment after experiment, knowing that over 10,000 attempts had already failed. Imagine the exhaustion, the frustration, the whispers of doubt in his own mind. And yet he persisted. When asked about those failures, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison didn't see failure as defeat. He saw it as a guide, a teacher, a signal that he was one step closer to discovery. Every failure was a step on the staircase to success. Now imagine J.K. Rowling sitting in a small cafe, manuscript in hand, facing rejection after rejection. 12 publishers turned her down before one finally said yes. Picture the doubt, the fatigue, the thought, maybe this dream isn't meant to be. And yet she kept writing, kept believing. And because of that perseverance, she gifted the world Harry Potter, a story that has inspired millions. The lesson here is clear. Failure is normal. Giving up is the real danger. Even someone like Walt Disney, the man behind some of the most iconic characters and stories in history, faced crushing setbacks. He was fired by a newspaper editor for lacking imagination, went bankrupt multiple times, and had countless failed animation projects. Yet he kept going. And over 15 years, he built an empire that would inspire generations. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent alone. It's resilience, determination, and the courage to keep moving forward. Think about Elon Musk, founder of SpaceX and Tesla. Picture him pacing the floor of a small office, worrying about rocket launches that failed, Tesla nearly bankrupt during the 2008 financial crisis, investors doubting him at every turn. It would have been easy to quit, but he didn't. He kept testing, iterating, learning. It took him over 20 years of relentless effort to build the companies that are now transforming space travel and electric vehicles around the world. And then there's Bill Gates, who encountered countless setbacks with early software projects before Microsoft became the global powerhouse we know today. Gates spent nearly a decade learning from failure, analyzing what went wrong, improving, and moving forward. These stories tell us something vital. There are no shortcuts. Success is the product of long-term perseverance, learning, and the willingness to keep showing up even when the world seems to say no. I want you to take a moment and think about your own life. Think about a time you failed, a time you wanted to give up. Remember how it felt. Now imagine looking back 10, 15 years from now, realizing that failure was the exact force that shaped your future success. The truth is, successful people don't just fail. They study failure, they analyze it, they learn from it, and then they try again. Oprah Winfrey, one of the most influential voices in media, was fired early in her career for being unsuitable for television. She could have quit, but she didn't. She worked harder, honed her skills, and became a global icon. Steve Jobs, the legendary innovator, was ousted from Apple, the very company he founded. Yet he returned, creating revolutionary products like the iPhone, iPad, and iPod. It wasn't luck that brought them success. It was persistence, resilience, and the courage to get back up. Let's talk about time, because so often we look at success stories and think, they made it quickly. The reality is that success is rarely instant. J.K. Rowling spent 7 years writing her first Harry Potter book before it was published. Elon Musk spent 6 years from founding SpaceX to the first successful Falcon 1 launch. Thomas Edison conducted over 10,000 experiments before inventing the light bulb. Real success is the result of thousands of small steps repeated over time, guided by relentless effort. Imagine the countless hours, the setbacks, the self-doubt. Imagine feeling like you're failing while the world moves on. And now imagine that moment of breakthrough when persistence pays off, when the pieces finally fall into place. This is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. Every great scientist, entrepreneur, and artist you've heard of shares a common thread. They refuse to fear failure and they learn from it relentlessly. They analyze, they improve, they persist. They understand that failure is not shameful, it is informative. It tells you what doesn't work so you can find what does. So I want you to ask yourself, what have I learned from my failures? Am I willing to try again knowing I might fail? What am I doing today to prepare for the success of tomorrow? Every failure you faced, every obstacle you've overcome is shaping you into someone stronger, smarter, and more capable than you were yesterday. Let me tell you another story. Picture Colonel Harlan Sanders, founder of KFC. He faced over 1,000 rejections before a single restaurant agreed to franchise his recipe. Imagine being turned down over and over, wondering if you're wasting your life, yet refusing to give up. Because he persisted, today we know his name worldwide. Or consider Soichiro Honda, who was turned away from Toyota early in his career. He didn't quit. He went on to build Honda Motor Company, now a global giant in automobiles and motorcycles. I want you to take a deep breath and picture yourself in their shoes. Feel the frustration, the doubt, the fear of failing again. And now feel the determination, the courage, the fire inside that keeps you moving forward. That fire exists inside all of us. It's what turns failure into fuel, obstacles into stepping stones, and dreams into reality. Failure is not an enemy. It is a teacher, a guide, a force that shapes your character, sharpens your skills, and strengthens your resolve. Turn your failures into lessons, your challenges into motivation, and your dreams into reality. Remember, every stumble, every setback, and every struggle you face today is preparing you for a brighter, stronger, and more meaningful tomorrow. Failure doesn't break you. It prepares you for success. And when you finally reach the peak, you'll look back and realize that every no, every setback, every mistake was exactly what you needed to get there. So embrace failure. Learn from it. Persist through it. Because the world doesn't remember those who gave up. They remember those who refused to quit. And now I want you to make a promise to yourself. A promise that no matter how many times you fall, you will get back up. That you will take every failure, analyze it, learn from it, and use it as a springboard to greatness. Because your potential is not limited by the failures you face today. It is defined by the courage, resilience, and determination with which you rise tomorrow. Failure doesn't break you, it prepares you for success. And your journey, just like those of the people we've talked about today, can inspire countless others if you choose to keep moving forward.